Hey guys, Scott and Chris here. The sun is setting on Saturday at Comic-Con, and we have just seen footage from X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah, I was surprised by that actually, considering they've just been filming for about a month or so.
Yeah.
And they actually had a really polished little reel to show us.
Yeah, it was a really extended trailer, and the kind that you could put out now, and people wouldn't think that wasn't a full-on trailer with the finished film.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So what did you think?
I thought it was great. It's full-on X-Men now, really. It's funny, but the Bryan Singer movies, it used to be they were afraid to have costumes. They all wore black leather, and now they're just full-on. I mean, we got to see most of the characters. Olivia Munn's Psylocke has the full-on ninja costume.
Yeah.
Storm has her
New
mohawk.
Storm. Yeah,
right?
she looked awesome. We only got glimpses of her, but she looked awesome.
And Apocalypse himself we now have seen. And he really looks... There's a poster that was floating around today that showed him, which didn't quite look like Apocalypse to me, but in the footage I thought he very much looked more like the character from the comic.
He was black in the poster and blue in the footage that we saw, so I'm not sure what the disconnect is there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it starts off pretty full on, the footage. It's kind of Jean Grey she's waking up young Jean Grey now, played by Sophie Turner, saying she's seen the end of the world, and Professor X is sitting by a bed saying it was just a dream. And then we start hearing about Apocalypse. We hear his voiceover was over quite a lot of the footage, talking about the fact that he was there for the dawn of man, and we've lost our way, we've followed blind leaders, and he's come back to pretty much destroy us.
Right. And it seems as though some of the characters we think of as heroes are allied with Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Because at one point I think it was Magneto, Storm, Psylocke, and someone else, I think, on Apocalypse's side, lined up against the sort of young, it's really a lot of younger cast. We have young Cyclops, we have young Angel, young Nightcrawler. But we saw glimpses of all of them, and they all looked great.
And we saw his power. We're told that his power is the power of persuasion, is his biggest power.
Yeah.
And at one stage, Professor X says I've never felt power like this before.
Yeah.
And he's controlling him and picks up his wheelchair and kind of throws it across the room, and it's like, whoa, we're in trouble now.
Yeah, and Professor X's eyes were actually all black at that point, almost like he's being overtaken. And then we learned a little bit about how things have changed since they rebooted the timeline in the Days of Future Past. They mentioned that because Jennifer Lawrence's character Mystique sort of saved the president, I guess, at the end of the last movie, that now mutants are embraced as heroic figures, and they're not feared and hated by a world like they usually are, and they're actually sort of heroic for the most part. And we also learned that Magneto has gone off and tried to live a normal life, and I think they might have said he has a family. I'm not...
Yeah, he said something about having a love life, so I guess he's tried to settle down and trying to maybe turn good, but obviously that'll never end well.
Right. And
what else did we see? I mean, the money shot at the end of the trailer was we got to see Professor X, James McAvoy with the bald head.
Yeah.
That got a huge cheer.
Yeah, I think the big X-Men door in the basement opened, and he was just sitting there I thought it was Patrick Stewart for a second, actually. Because I think it might have been in silhouette at first, and then it's McAvoy, and he's gone full-on Xavier at this point.
The new lad playing Angel said he's got badass wings. I'm trying to think what other things were said. Jennifer Lawrence said she's much more Raven than Mystique in this movie.
Yeah, and I don't think we saw her in her blue skin at all in the footage that they showed.
No.
And I'm sure Jennifer Lawrence doesn't want to put the makeup on either too often, right? So so we got, considering the film is just in production, we got a fairly good taste.
And I thought the most interesting thing I heard was Oscar Isaac being asked about Apocalypse, and he said he really sees him as a cult leader, kind of going around preying on people's weaknesses or desires and using that to persuade them to do his bidding, to go after these mutants.
So it's interesting that because Apocalypse is really such a comic booky villain, that it does seem as though they have managed to sort of zero in on what makes him work, I think, and can still portray it on film with an live action actor, and it doesn't seem like it's completely ridiculous like it could have been. So I mean, I was excited by it all.
Yeah, final thoughts then on the footage and the panel?
The final thoughts on, well, you know what? Hugh Jackman showed up to sort of thank the crowd, but I was really hoping that we'd get a little bit more, like they'd say, and he's in X-Men Apocalypse also.
Yeah, it felt like they were going to do that.
Yeah.
And it was kind of awkward, and then he just kind of slipped off.
He made an Old Man Logan joke at one point.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, are they going to say Wolverine 3 is Old Man Logan? And then he was like, all right, see you later, and he left. So that was a bit disappointing, but otherwise I thought it was great.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cheers for tuning in, everyone, and keep it right here on IGN for all your X-Men Apocalypse needs.